Hello. In this video, I'm going to go over why you're probably experiencing certain events or attracting people, places, or things with similar past patterns that you've experienced before. Maybe why you're attracting toxic lovers or narcissistic relationships, or even lack of abundance in your life, and how to be able to let go of that so that way you can start living more freely, having more peace in your mind, and you'll realize how powerful you really are. And I had this realization actually recently that it turns out as we come here on earth to explore being a human, we have this human experience and we walk through the veil of amnesia, which is our body. We still are our higher self, our source, having this individual human experience. Like, I get to be Ventzi in this lifetime, right? While you get to be you. Except we come down here to forget what it's like to have power and instant manifestation abilities. So that way, when we do go back up to having instant manifestation abilities and having everything we want and all the food we'll ever eat in our entire life at once if we choose, we do it so that way we can expand our consciousness here, to start life anew, to forget. So one of the things that comes to a big realization is any of the past pain that you've ever experienced, if you haven't looked within and let it go and shown it gratitude and felt the feelings, it's okay to feel sadness. It's okay to feel cheated on. It's okay to feel abused in a relationship. However, if you just suppress that and you didn't let it go and you didn't actually feel it and you just, you got cheated on, bad relationship, you got drunk, cried to your friends about it, and then just kept living that same relationship or just suppressing the feeling rather than actually sitting within and releasing it, you're going to keep experiencing it because it's in your vibration, because it's shoved way down in there. And sometimes people will get a physical symptom. They'll start to get a pain in their body somewhere that starts to build up and aches. And they have to go see a doctor because of it, right? And that's a symptom of the pain, of the suffering that you've suppressed and haven't released. It becomes trauma in the body. So have a coffee with me. It's Ventzi, your divine feminine empowerment and spiritual awakening coach. And I'm here to move you from trauma to transcendence, from fear to freedom, from fog to clarity, while I support you cultivating deep and meaningful relationships with others, romantic and non-romantic. And most importantly, you falling completely in love with your life. And just like all good coaches, we're going to have a coffee together. And I'm going to give you a shove so you can fall in love with yourself. So what's the meaning behind all this? What's all this blah, blah, blah that I've been talking about, right? I bet you're wondering, why am I attracting all this toxicity in my life and I can't seem to ever get away from it? And it may feel like that, right? Have you ever actually wondered why you keep attracting similar people, places, and things in your life? Because that's why. Because you haven't done the inner work. Because a part of you, because of the pain, believes that that's your reality and that's what you deserve. So until you look within and realize and let it go and show gratitude, and this is the thing I was talking about earlier, is understanding that you can look and feel the feelings first, and once you reach the place of gratitude, which means I am grateful for the experience because it has now shown me that the contrast that I experienced now shows me what I do want in my life. Thank you. So Ho'oponopono is really good for this. These 4 phrases: I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Right? Now, why would you say you're sorry? Well, from the cosmic perspective, where you are source having individual experiences, you are yourself. Looking through other people's eyes, you just don't have their life. You just have this individual experience. And guess what? You can't really prove consciousness that anybody else has it besides you. You're the only conscious being here in your reality. So you actually literally write your own story. Here's the thing though. I'm sorry. You're saying I'm sorry for what's active in my vibration. That I attracted another narcissistic girlfriend in my life because of familial past patterns from my parents and their dysfunctional family and dysfunctional abuse from my dad. This is actually personal, right? Because that has happened to me, and I've also attracted other people who portrayed that they were my friends, yet they were narcissists and just taking advantage of me because I became a people pleaser due to all my worthiness wounds up until I healed them, right? And started looking within. And as I started healing, these people started dissolving out of my life. And yet I still try to latch on and hold on to some of that, no matter how bad it was getting, because I was not someone to give up. Because they gave me some sort of praise and validation, including the narcissistic, slightly abusive girlfriend, like physically abusive, when there was like a couple incidences. So, point is, I'm sorry because I attracted you into my life, people, places, and things, because of me holding on to the trauma of the past from parent patterns. Most people get that from parent patterns. From getting bullied in school, that you deserve, that you're a nerd and that you get to be bullied and blah blah blah, right? I'm sorry because that's what's active in my vibration. Law of attraction is bringing that to me and you. Whatever's running on an engine on a train track going chugga chugga choo choo, that vibration is running because it hasn't been looked at. And guess what? A lot of people are afraid to look within and let it go. That's why narcissists become narcissists, because they experience so much trauma. Like, they're not bad people. They're not like, how can I wake up and manipulate you today to get what I want? Well, kinda. It's actually all protection barriers because their own worthiness and suffering and traumas, that they innately just do this as a survival mechanism. They end up becoming manipulative people so they can be safe, so they can get what they want, because that's the only way they know how, because they're afraid of looking within and seeing what in their life has caused them such a great amount of pain, and they don't want to go do the work. And a lot of times they avoid seeing therapists because they don't want to look within and have all this pain brought back up. Either way, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I hope you can find the means to forgive me and change the story and forgive me for having this active in my vibration during the time we met, because it's no longer that. So you change the story. Forgive. To give it a new meaning. Forgive. Now you can say thank you, because now I'm grateful because you've shown me the contrast of what I want in my life and what I no longer want in my life, baby. After that narcissistic ex that I had, a kind of a similar one showed up. Way hotter, by the way. She wasn't as bad. She was way more chill. Like, the thing is, I learned so much on how to communicate my feelings, how to communicate what I want in a relationship. I was able to be vulnerable and expressive and stayed firm to like who I am. And that relationship dissolved rather quickly because there were some boundaries that were getting crossed and I reinforced them, and it was time to let go. I learned, so I'm grateful for that experience, right? And it helped me navigate possibly avoiding a dumpster fire relationship with another one. So, next is I love you. I don't even think I said it right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. For those 4 phrases. I think I forgot I love you. No, maybe I didn't. Probably not. I'm in like a flow state. I'm still kind of getting over this cold. So, we're vibing. Hope you're vibing with my buttery smooth voice on the microphone that I invested in for content creation for you and me to share this kinds of information. All right, we're getting a little wild now. Okay. I love you is not like, oh, I love you. Thank you so much for it. It's like, I love you unconditionally. I want the best for you. Even though now we have this boundary where we're no longer seeing each other in the physical reality, we're still seeing each other up there as our higher selves or split fragments of souls or, you know, split fragments from source. We're still interacting up in that plane, just not here in the physical world. Whew, a little hot. So I'm telling you, having a cold and it being like freaking 80, 90 degrees is not the move. So here's the thing about saying this. You're saying it to yourself as they say it back to you. You're creating a timeline. As you shift to your highest timeline of being a higher vibratorial version of yourself and choosing better emotional feelings and choosing to evolve and grow, that timeline is also reflecting to you. So you're saying it not only to yourself is saying it back to you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, because there was stuff active in their vibration that you also brought out to cause all of this, right? You also provided them an experience of growth. And when everybody reaches the level of unconditional love without the conditioning needing to change, you're able to stay in that vibration and hold it. Guess what you're attracting? More people, places, and things that have that vibrational love frequency that can show up in the way you want in your life versus attracting these horrible people that keep treating you wrong. Except you got to wake up to it. You got to look within and find out, when did this happen? Hey, I'm grateful for it. Thank you for the experience. Thank you for the exposure. The thank you is so very, very important. So if you're wondering why you're attracting bad things in your reality, it's because you're holding on to something that's still active in your vibration that you haven't worked through. It's because you believe that you still deserve it because it happened to you, because you're still telling the same story when you get drunk. And this narcissistic ex that I dated, every time she would get drunk, all these sob stories came out. And it was part of this like covert narcissist thing where like it gets me to feel bad for her, you know, and I fall into like the hero's role where I just want to be the best boyfriend ever. And I want to make sure that I, you know, love you more than anybody else and do all this stuff, which was, you know, and then she would treat me bad. Anyway, I think I'm gonna start making like narcissistic videos soon. However, just because I feel like there's not enough information for people to protect themselves and like kind of realize the healing journey it takes, you got to get to go through, and like the awakening of it. Because I was someone who didn't want to give up in that relationship, and I kept trying, and like I was, you know, she painted this picture of me already wanting to be the hero and be this best version boyfriend for her, yet it was never enough. Never ever enough, right? And it's because I genuinely wanted her to feel the love that she was denying herself. She already thought she wasn't worthy. She already had traumatic experiences in her life and unconsensual experiences that made her think she was broken goods. So looking back at even at the bad stuff she did to me, what do you think is going to happen? You start to uncover like maybe she would think that she was more broken if she realized like, oh crap, she actually hurt people this way. That's why they avoid it. That's why narcissists kind of avoid it. Either way, it doesn't make anything they ever do right. It just means that they're also human having this experience, and they're deeply wounded and hurting themselves. The only way you can really deal with a narcissist is set boundaries. Strong, firm boundaries, and they keep crossing them. You gotta let them go. Part of you letting them go is the opportunity, because you'd be denying the opportunity if you stick around with them for too long. That you're denying them the opportunity for them to grow and realize like, oh crap, I actually lost this person. Maybe I do have to look within. And I used to have toxic masculine traits when I was younger, when I was like 19 and 20, from not knowing what a healthy relationship is like. I didn't know how to communicate things. And me and this one girlfriend broke up after 2 years, you know, and this time we weren't getting back together because it wasn't a really healthy relationship. We did love each other as much as we could. We genuinely did. Just we didn't, especially me, I didn't know how to communicate and work through things and leave. I should have broken up with her when and not get back together, right? Should have just been it. I didn't know these things. Point is, like, I had these things, and then I finally realized, like, I don't want to treat people like that. I don't want to be that version of me. I don't want to be this toxic masculine type person. And I had to start doing a lot of inner work. I had no idea what that path looked like, but it also led me down to being a people pleaser. Because now I had worthiness wounds. I was not worthy of this relationship, even though I wanted it to end for so long. And I, you know, and when it finally did, though, It like, that's what I mean. Triggered this worthiness wound that it's like, I'm not worthy. And I attracted more narcissistic people in my life, familiar, comfortable patterns. So if you're wondering why, it's because there's inner work to be done. And until you go through this inner work, and it's why it's called shadow work, because nobody really wants to, well, that's why it's called work. Nobody really wants to go and do the work. It's scary. There's a huge fire there that you have to actually step through, and you may get burned because it may hurt. You may have to bring up these feelings of the past. Here's the thing though. Once you realize and put awareness on the pain and the trauma, you can let it go like that. You don't have to keep holding on this burning rope. You can actually just let it go and show gratitude instead of getting on this like overthinking loop. Because I used to do that. I used to wonder, why wasn't I worthy? Why didn't it work out? Why didn't, why? And it's like I'm searching for answers to something that already is over and happened, and there's no solution to fix it. It happened the way it did because it was meant for my experience, so that way I can learn to let go. So I can learn how to let go and keep moving. Life keeps going on. How am I going to spend my time? Focusing on the past or this new version of me and growing and expanding and becoming a better version of me because I choose to be. So unless you're taking specific actions and decisions every single moment of your life to become the version of you that you want to be, and watching videos like this or other ones to help you expand, unless you're doing all those things, you're going to stay stuck. And part of you likes being stuck, because I did. It was comfortable. Because the unknown is scary. Because having an ego death, we might have to experience one, Mr. Ego, Mrs. Ego, like, we may have to experience one. And death is scary. Your ego's trying to hold on to its bare life of this is your story and this is your reality, when every moment is a new moment and you can shift whenever you want. So make that decision to shift, take aligned action to be a version of you that you want to be. And if you don't know what that's like, start writing it down. If you have lack of abundance issues, that's also a trauma of the past. I had to realize that, actually. I grew up so broke that when I was walking to school almost every single day, like in junior high, like I was like, 12 years old, whatever, like 7, 8, and ninth grade. Like my shoes would be ripping walking through like muddy football fields, like didn't matter if it was winter or not. And like my parents barely ever drove me to school. For some reason though, my little brother got driven every single time. We were a 10-year difference though. And it's like back then it didn't seem like we were very financially abundant. Although it turns out we were. There was some hidden stories to this that, my mom was a breadwinner, making pretty good, decent income. And my dad was siphoning money to buy land in Bulgaria and preparing for like the worst, divorce situation, putting that land under his dad's name so my mom couldn't have access to it if they ever did divorce. And my dad would never let me get new clothes or anything, right? So I grew up thinking I was poor, that I was broke. And yeah, I ended up working for 2 different fitness companies where I became a manager and learned how to sell, and I created some financial abundance for myself, and I learned a lot of things through that. I was a personal training director. I managed the sales teams. I was head of sales and the personal trainers. So through that, that wasn't even enough, because then I still had abundance wounds. And I realized that it came from that and that scarcity, and to believe that I wasn't abundant, when the whole time in my whole life, I've actually had everything I needed whenever I need it. And that is abundance. Abundance is having what you need when you need it, because you're going to keep surviving. Except, are you going to keep taking steps to a version of you that creates freedom for yourself, or are you going to keep surviving? Because I used to invest money on an app game on my phone because I need to have some kind of entertainment, until I started investing in a course for myself, investing in new equipment to start shifting my reality. Right? Because I can go back and I've had great paying jobs, but it's like, I want something that I feel fulfilled doing. And turns out I have a lot of stuff to share. So much love on your journey, cosmic soul. Have a wonderful, magnificent, transformative, alchemizing day. The real key is look within Take this challenge for the week. Look within and look around in your life. Where are you experiencing things and you're attracting similar situations and people and places? And where does that remind you of? Why do you keep believing that story? And start affirming to yourself that you are abundant, that you are going to be attracting what you need when you need it. And start being grateful for everything that presents itself in the very present moment and take action in alignment to the version that you want to be. And I highly recommend writing a point B version of yourself. Figure that out. Okay, I had no context on this video. I had no idea what to do. I had like 6 hours of sleep. Love and light vibration out. Bye.